All right, welcome back. So the third and final part of our next project, the logo and product mockup project here, will require you to place your logo into three images that are more context based. So instead of a product mockup, you'll be placing these images or these logos into real world settings and trying to integrate those images into the setting. And think about scale here, right? You have SVG files that you could make really large and really small. And here, for example, I'm going to use that same robotics logo I've been tweaking with and playing around with. And I'm going to place it in here really big, right? This is the image that we've already seen, that tickets image that I had you work on. And you may need to use a clipping mask, or you may need to just place embedded, however you need to go about doing it, or a layer mask as well. But in this case, I think just placing the embedded logo right on top will be just fine. So I'm going to come up to place embedded, and I'm going to use, here's that robotics, here's kind of a version of that I've been playing around with. And this one, the eyes are black here, so a little different, but I'm gonna scale this up really big just to kind of play around a little bit with this scene here. And I'll hit OK here. So it's funny, he's like looking right at my logo robot is looking at this guy. So I mean, placing it right there, I mean, that doesn't quite look correct because this is such a heavy and graphic image just right on top, and I can't see the texture of the wall, and the saturation here is just too strong. So we need to try to make this look like it fits in this environment. So the first thing I would do is perhaps I would come up to my rectangular marquee tool, and maybe I would, oh, that's a little bit really close to his head there, but I might make a selection here of this wall. Make sure you're on that bottom layer. And I'm going to Command J, jump that to a new layer, and then I'm going to put it above that robot logo. And now I'll adjust my opacity a little bit. Okay, so I can get some of that texture of the wall coming through, but not so much that I look super faint like that, but maybe something like that, right? Okay, so that looks better, but it's still a bit too crisp and clean. So you could potentially maybe come back onto your design logo, and maybe we'll create a layer mask. And let's see, right? We can use our brushes. Let me just come to my brush tool, and I was playing around with some of those earlier brushes, but let's just say I wanted to just start with this soft round brush, and maybe there's just a little bit of this that I want to kind of edit. Oh, my opacity is really low. But maybe there's just a little bit of fading happening here and there. And also remember, so we know how to use our custom brushes, and you should have some nice downloaded brushes at this point. And here, I'll use a splatter brush, right? And so if that's too much, we can maybe set that opacity down a little bit. Oh, make sure I'm on my layer mask. There we go. I was accidentally on that, but all right, something like that. And then you could also use brushes that take up the entire picture plane. So that's kind of what I was playing around with earlier, is some of these larger grunge brushes that, right, give this overall texture of this crinkled paper. So that could look good if I get in here and, right, make sure this size is taking up the whole logo. And if that's too much, again, I'll adjust my opacity down a bit. And, right, that looks pretty good. So yeah, I mean, as far as getting these images to look like they fit in that natural environment, right? You'll go ahead and play around with these these different features here. Okay, so again, think about scale, right? So I used a really large version here, but another might have a smaller version. And maybe if there's examples that you could find where repetitive images or a lot of multiple logos could appear in an image, that could be interesting too. But think about the real world settings where these logos might pop up. Okay? All right, looking forward to seeing these.